for today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Oh my God. We've had more solar flares.
More today?
More today.
We don't need more.
We've had more. And that was...
Can we get a break, God, please? Oh, please. I just want a break.
We have a new moon that's coming up on August the 4th. And that's, we're recording this on August the 1st of 2024. And so I had on Stefan Burns on his video, I'm like, we got our tea, and I'm going to wait until the new moon to try it. Mm-hmm. Because it does have the blue lotus flower, and it's got the mugwort and chamomile, and I can't remember what the other thing that it has.
It smells good, though.
It smells wonderful. It really does. And I can't remember what the other one was. Passion flower, I think. I don't know that he's got all of it. And it's, this was a limited edition product that he had there for a while. It's called spiritual tea. I think he calls it something else. But anyhow, and it's supposed to be for sleep, dreams, meditation, and astral travel. I just assumed not do the astral travel thing. I was looking to see if there's anything else on here, and I don't think there was.
Yeah, the astral travel, I really don't want to get fucked up in other dimensions.
No, this is the reason.
Plus, that shit drains you.
Yeah.
If you astral travel during your sleep, you do not get a restful night's sleep.
Yeah, and it's like there's places when I dream, it's almost, I am someplace else. It's not anything that necessarily that weird, but it's almost like a different life.
Yeah. You more than likely do that on a regular basis. And that's...
Yeah. So I
figure out how to shut that off.
I don't know. I don't know how. Coffee slurp. I have pumpkin spice. Yum.
Yeah. While she slurps. Mm-hmm. I left my Blythe doll in the freezer.
He did.
So basically she has color changing hair, and so hot and cold temperatures depend on the hair color. Warm temperatures, blue, cold equals purple. So I stuck her in the freezer, and I forgot her all night. And it wasn't until 4 something, maybe 3, that I remembered, oh shit, she's still in the freezer.
Yeah. And then astrologically, Mercury goes retrograde on August the 5th. Honestly,
Mercury and mayonnaise.
The astrology right now is totally beyond me.
It's not.
And it's like, I need some of these people to, tell me like I'm 5. Yes. And this one dude that I listened to, he did dumb it down. He's like, okay, first 10 days of August, they're going to be all right. The next 10 days, not so much. Shit going to go sideways. And then the last 10 days supposed to be pretty much all right. But how much all right can they be if those middle 10 go sideways?
Don't say that. I'm going to be out of town tomorrow and the whole weekend.
Okay. Anyhow.
I don't want to be down there when fuck shit breaks loose.
Again, focus. First 10 days, supposed to be all right.
Okay.
But now, the Mercury retrograde, and I'm using Hindu Times right now on this.
What is Hindu Times?
It is a publication from India. And it says that the Mercury retrograde is going to move between Virgo and Leo. Now, they may use a different form of astrology because there's many different kinds, which that's a Robert Phoenix question. That or Palace Pepper, if you want to go on X and ask them on that.
Yeah.
But It says while Mercury is in Virgo, that it usually brings a clear and logical approach to life, which I appreciate because I got a lot of Virgo.
You do. I wish I had Virgo.
And it says that the first half of this retrograde helps us see where we need more structure and routine in our daily lives. And it's a good time to set reminders and make plans to keep things on track. Mercury retrograde is not a good time to start new stuff. This is a time to be reflective.
Mercury and mayonnaise.
And just as a rule of thumb, expect delays with travel. Make sure that you back up everything electronically. Expect communication to go sideways. And usually these things take place a couple of days before the event. And it was just, trying to communicate online today was, and it wasn't just me. There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
Yeah, it's rough.
And then it says that from August the 14th to the 28th, Mercury retrograde shifts into Leo. And during this time, the focus changes from external factors affecting work, health, or daily routines to see how we ourselves, see ourselves internally. So that's
Okay.
just what it says. And something may have been lost in translation on that. No kidding. But...
yeah.
like I said,
Context matters.
context does matter. So does punctuation. But it's interesting. My God. One of the things that I observed greatly, and have known this for a while, and people have to understand my background on a lot of this stuff. I was trained in public school. I was indoctrinated like everybody else on a lot of this stuff, to sit down, shut up, and I'll tell you what to think, except that I was just like, no, why?
Like, why do we have to learn all this?
Why does this, this doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teachers would get aggravated with me because I would ask questions.
Well, that's because they didn't know the answers.
Well, that is one of the things.
And they didn't want to admit they didn't know the
teachers.
answers. Yeah.
And there is something that I learned today, and hopefully I'm going to go down rabbit holes, maybe, and maybe not this weekend, about something called high masking autism.
Hi, welcome to my side of the internet.
And it's one of those that I did listen to this one lady, and I had listened to this guy also, when he was talking about high masking autistics, always exhausted. And...
do you think that you got...
I don't know. I don't like to do the self-diagnosis thing because you can get in a world of shit doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
But the one lady, she did have a test that you could take. And then what I will do is the results from the test, it's one of those that you have to sit down in some place that's quiet and that you can't have the distractions and stuff. And then I can discuss that with therapist to say, could this be?
Okay.
And that's the best way to do any of this stuff if you think that you may have some kind of whatever it is. And ultimately, what does it matter other than going, oh, okay, that's what that was.
Yeah.
But one of the things that she discussed was that for people that have this particular flavor of autism, it's very difficult for them to go between tasks. And some of the people in the comments on this video were older people, my age and older, that were just now finding out that this was part of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Late diagnosis is actually very common.
Uh-huh. And it's like, we don't know if some of this stuff was... there's so much that has changed over the years. It could be as far as there's people that speculate that there's a vaccine relation with some of these things. The food has changed. The water, everything has changed.
That is true, but it is suspect also. Like, yeah, some people theorize that it's vaccine injuries. But when y'all were little, I don't think y'all had to deal with the same vaccines that 90s babies or even 80s babies had to deal with.
We did not.
So
there were very few, and one of the main ones was the smallpox vaccine. And some of the things that I have seen lately, there's even question about that.
Right. So more than likely, this stuff just went under the radar for the majority of y'all because mental health was so taboo back then. And now that it's not, you know, people are just now finding out. That was like this one mother that I watched on TikTok. She had both ADHD and autism as well, and she would be constantly overstimulated, and it would cause her to have meltdowns quite frequently. And it was a struggle for her.
Sure. Well,
she tried her best.
I will tell you this. I had, because there were...
She had like 6 kids.
Oh, geez. When you've got problems and you know you got problems, it's where you, as far as some responsibility on some of this stuff and what you can and can't do and knowing boundaries and all that stuff. There was a series of injections that I was given at one point as a small child, and it was soon, like a week or so after that the nosebleeds started.
Okay, that's suspicious. That's weird.
Yeah. And I, you know...
What's up with that?
Don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that, you know, medications, injectables, all that, that is very like, why do we need that?
We don't know. And we have not known for a very, very long time.
For all we know, they could have been altering people's DNAs for years.
Sure. I mean, let's face it, Nephilim was thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, no, I am not Nephilim. I do not. We did have a relative that had polydactyl whatever, but he had the extra toes removed.
No, but I
was good.
I was like, that actually reminded me of something that will take you off topic, and I don't want to take you off topic, so I'll leave that for another subject.
Well, they were talking about, with that particular type of autism, the high masking. When somebody is doing a task and they are interrupted, that it's not just like switching. They don't switch tasks the way that other people can.
No.
And that is something that, yes, that,
yeah. It's a struggle bus. It's like, it causes irritability.
Yes.
It causes, well, the frustration goes into that irritability and all that. I get it. I've studied this shit for a minute because I have suspected, because it can be hereditary as well.
Yes, it can.
And so it's like, we got a little house full of autism here.
Well, and that very well could be. And it's the neurospicy.
Yeah.
And there is strong possibility that oldest kid does have Asperger's. He has symptoms that could indicate Asperger's. He does not like labels, which that in itself could be a symptom of Asperger's.
Could be. I knew somebody that was actually, I think, either engaged to a guy that had Asperger's or was married. Met her in beauty school. Good guy. He was just kind of like socially awkward a little bit, and very intelligent person too.
Oh, yes. Highly intelligent people. It does not have to be a detriment.
No, it's a superpower in a lot of ways.
It is a superpower in a lot of ways. I thoroughly believe that. But this lady that I was listening to, she was talking about, like you had said, that you can be on the spectrum and have ADHD.
It's actually been suspected that ADHD is also a form of autism spectrum.
I can see that.
So
I can see that. And that is one of the things that, see, all this is new research since I was in college 150 years ago. Because at that point you had the people that autism was considered the kids that had to have the padded helmets.
Right, but that's the extreme end of
It
the
is.
autism spectrum.
But I'm saying that's all this new research, and it's like there's people that's like, okay, is diagnosing all these things, is it making it better? Is it making it worse? I am one of these that if somebody has a condition, that condition, whatever you want to label it as, is that individual's path, and that's their responsibility.
Yeah.
It is not the responsibility for the rest of society to cater to that individual.
No, but that's why it is very highly recommended that they, deal with coping skills, do whatever they can do to minimize for themselves sensory overload, all that. That's why you do see some people go out with headphones, and
Right.
I understand the safety thing, all that, but it is necessary, especially in places like Walmart, the park, malls, stuff like that.
But
it
this
is
is
very
where
necessary.
They need to come up with other sensory things to a degree to where the people... This is not a time to be out in public and have one of your primary sensory things hampered in any way.
I do agree, but they have these earbuds. They're not music earbuds. They are specifically for people who have auditory sensory issues. They're called loops.
Okay.
And basically it just sort of minimizes
Okay.
all the outside noise that you can still hear pretty well, but it minimizes
Right.
it so it's not just so like
Right.
in your head.
Well, I tell you, that's the reason I am such a fan of the Stratera, is because that has helped lots.
Yeah.
And I very much remember before, because I had to ask these people for something for ADHD, and it's like, and trauma and complex trauma and all that shit blows in all that, and it makes everything worse.
Oh yeah, having like just standard PTSD along with complex PTSD piled on top of it, that's a clusterfuck in of itself. And then to add ADHD and autism on top of that, that's just
Right. And that we have got so many people that are at a breaking point. That concerns me. And so with these added factors of the planetary alignments, the solar flares and the geomagnetic storms that are incoming, and it does make me concerned about people.
Yeah.
And what all this means. And it was funny because you have so many people speculating about so many things, and to sit there and go, okay, I need some evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of that is just how I am.
Yeah.
It's like, who told you this? Because born in 65, trust no one.
Yeah.
And then it was a matter of recognizing that I had been indoctrinated. To sit there and go, I blindly believed what these people told me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much stuff that I have found out is not true. Which is horrifying. And then you have to go back and regroup, and you have to find the evidence. If it's true, it'll stand on its own. If it's not true, it'll fall away. But it's a very vital thing right now to ask people, especially online, especially social media, because somebody had posted something yesterday. It was part of a text, and it's like, would you mind providing me reference for this?
Right.
Because anybody can make something that looks like words on a page.
Yeah.
And they did go back and they provided me with the reference where they had gotten that. And it's like, it was simple, thank you.
Mm-hmm. See, those are the people that are like, you're a blessing. Thank you. You actually gave you presented something that actually backs up whatever it was.
Right. And part of this is the
a valid source.
The training that I have had, and where I have had to deal with legal bullshit. You had to take notes, and this went with the mental health counseling also, that if you were ever called into court, you had to have a record of what happened. That's an incident report. I hated writing incident reports. Everybody hated writing incident reports. But you had to put enough information in there, including time of it. There was a whole thing that you do. It's a formula. I work well with formulas on that. You know, this occurred at this time. This is what I observed. So-and-so did this. They did that. It was not, you got all opinion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have that if you had to go to court. Because in court, they don't want your opinion.
No, they want just
straight facts.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's where I grew up watching Dragnet. Just the facts, ma'am. You missed it. As far as Sergeant Friday. Oh my God, it was such a great show.
I immediately went to Kolchak.
No, well, I watched Night Stalker too. Kolchak, he was a reporter. He was a journalist.
Kolchak and what was the other one?
I don't know. I was thinking of, like I said,
The
Dragnet.
one with the glass eye.
Oh, Columbo.
Yeah, Columbo.
But see, that was, what did
Those
Columbo
were good shows.
do? He collected evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning into Columbo.
You always admired him.
I did. I loved Columbo.
He's a very lovable character.
He is, but he was, again, he had Asperger's.
Yeah.
Columbo was Asperger's.
He's on the spectrum.
But I grew up with this. Learn to observe. Learn as far as the evidence of things. How do we know? And even that was one of the reasons I adored Michael Heiser. That what you think you know may not be so.
Yeah.
And to go back and provide evidence. Because believing in God, it's not just blind faith.
No, it's not.
There is
a study behind it.
Yeah, there's evidence, lots of it.
We got evidence every day.
Yeah, but some people, if you ask them, okay, where did you hear that? Who told you that? Did they know? And checking your references. And that's something that you do in college, all this stuff. It's not just, you can put down personal observations if you're doing scientific method, which apparently has been thrown out the window now. And again, that's one of those things that makes my hair hurt.
That's being thrown out the window now?
Oh, God, yes. You know this. I have bitched about this for years. Anytime you start with a conclusion, it's going to totally skew and invalidate your research.
Yes, that's why proper research starts with a question.
Absolutely. And I think it's another reason I adore Stephon Burns, because he does have that true scientific mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've observed this.
It's a curiosity.
Yes. Yes. And it is that wonderful childlike curiosity to sit there and go, oh, I see this. How does this? Oh, this affects this, and I've noticed that this affects this, and it's connecting dots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to sit there and go, it's okay to ask questions. And a lot of us, like I said, that we were reprimanded for asking questions, or that narcissistic abuser thing, because I said so.
See, that in of itself is a psyop to break people's spirits.
Yeah. Yep. And a lot of broken people out there. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to provide evidence. It's okay to sit there and go, you know what? Where did I hear that? Let me go back and get that reference. That's one of the reasons that when we started doing the news articles and stuff, to provide the evidence, that not only does that protect us legally, because, and it just ain't cool to read somebody's stuff and not give them credit.
No, it's not cool at all.
No. So there's a lot of reasons when we use, like I said, the news articles and stuff. Did y'all go read about the dude where he had the eel up his ass? I did provide the link.
Oh, that's just about as bad as, if not worse,
and
than
the
gerbils.
And the lemon. He had a lemon too.
Fruit up there.
I don't know, but this is one of the reasons that we provide the evidence of where we got the information that we may be sharing with you all.
Yeah.
Now, for the life experience and stuff that I've had for 59 years, now I can't provide an APA format on any of that shit, nor an appendix.
An appendix?
That's the beginning of the thing. Or a...
Organ?
Oh. So you're not going to get footnotes with that. They don't even do footnotes anymore.
Why not?
Because they've gone to something else that's more convoluted. They're making people an APA.
Footnotes were so good, though.
Yes, because that was a logical way to do things, because it did not break up your ability to read an article.
Yeah.
What they're doing now with this APA format, which is absolutely so ass backwards, is you're reading, and then you'll have the parentheses, and right there is where you cite the source, and then you go on, and it's just, This is the reason that people don't know jack shit, because they're not going to take the time and the effort to read this stuff. I think a lot of that's done purposefully.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's done purposefully.
I have read a hell of a lot of research papers on a variety of sources throughout my life. And it's just, I'm glad that y'all are grown. I truly am. Because some of these people now, if they had a kid that's like, I want to go to college, I would be sitting there going, you go learn you a skill or a trade before you even think about college.
Yeah. College is not a place people need to be right now.
No, it certainly is not.
Well, that's like that person that at the pool party that I went to, like, what was it, a month ago at this point? It was like, I know you're like only 14 right now, but when you get older, don't even go to college. Get you a skill, get you a trade, go do that. You'll make more money.
But and it's like, my parents, that was the formula that worked for their generation. It didn't work for mine.
It didn't work for the generations after either.
No, it didn't. But there are certain things, like your brother, as far as him getting computer game design.
What good has that done him right now?
Well, he's got it. There's a lot of ways that he can go and I cut him a lot of slack because he's had some serious health issues for about 15 years that we're trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There are some things that you do have to go to college for. But even when these kids are in college, what kind of an education are they getting? When I went to school, I mean, the school that I graduated from was still nationally accredited.
Right.
That's gone. They have gone just as woke as some of the other ones.
Yeah. It's tragic.
Oh, yeah. It was to the point that when they were like wanting money, I'm like, take me off your list.
Yeah. And that's sad, because I actually did want to go to college at one point, but...
Well, honey, for art, you can, as far as technique, you can learn online easier.
Oh, that was just going to be like a side curriculum. The main thing that I wanted to do was product engineering.
Well, that's a whole hell of a lot of math.
I just wanted to learn how to make the stuff.
I understand that, but I'm telling you, that's a whole hell of a lot of math.
Yeah.
Work with what you got. And the dyscalculia or whatever it is, not good for bank tellers or engineers.
I wanted to be a toy maker.
I understand that, honey. And you still can be, but you've got to work with yourself.
That's why I just sculpt.
Why?
Because it's easier. There's no math to it. You just let your creativity go. God works through you.
Well, and a lot of the stuff, as far as people who have the 3D printers and different things like that, they're sidestepping some of these things because the technology is there for people who do think differently.
Yeah.
Even as far as the ones that don't want to They want to sit and bitch and gripe about, oh, there ain't no such thing as mental illness. There's no such thing as neurospicy.
But there is. That was like Matt Walsh.
That's exactly who I was thinking
of.
And I think he was a wannabe hipster anyhow.
He's got some mental shit that's going on in of himself that he doesn't want to even face.
No, that's a spiritual issue. That's different. When you got hardness of heart and stuff like that, that's spiritual.
That's true.
So, it's okay to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And when somebody does ask a question, they're not always trying to be a smart ass. There are a tremendous amount of neurospicy people out there that communicating is a challenge for them.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of being patient and being kind to people.
Mm-hmm.
And especially during these planetary alignments and this clusterfuck that we got going on, please be kind. Be humble.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Final thoughts, kid?
I don't really have anything else to say other than like that last thing that you just said. Be kind. Be humble.
Mm-hmm. Love on people. Because that's the reason we've got so many broken people. They need to know that they're loved.
That's something that I heard from someone on TikTok. It was like, choose love.
Mm-hmm.
Because what else do you need?
Well, you need food, clothing, and shelter in that. You need that.
No, but I'm talking
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Love feeds the spirit more than any other emotion.
Yes. But as
does it
far
have to be
as
balanced out? Yes.
We've had a lot of people that I swear to you, I don't know if there is with narcissism. I don't know that that's not some kind of a demonic spirit. I really don't.
It could more than likely it is like a demonic influence. It's not a possession, it's an influence.
It's lovers of self, that's for sure.
It's a complex situation that is above my pay grade to answer.
Well, it's one of those that it is, even for people that it is their pay grade, them getting it down to explain it like I'm 5. Yeah. Dr. Phil does that wonderfully well.
Oh, yeah. I still like his show.
Yeah. I'm sure it's got, I never did. I haven't watched any of that stuff for many, many years. But I did enjoy the interview that he did with Jordan Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Jordan Peterson wouldn't even try to do the same stuff that he did with Elon.
I don't think he would. It was a different format, and it just, like I said, I really was so disappointed in that. I really was disappointed in that. But anyhow, so if you've had experiences with the paranormal or the paranoid, supernatural
are you really
with UFOs,
paranoid or are you just aware?
Yeah. Painfully aware. Project Blue Beam.
Now, some of that paranoia does go.
I'm expecting on the Project Blue Beam. But anyhow.
Oh, the aliens.
Yeah.
They've been showing the alien commercials again recently.
Yeah, they have. They
haven't been on like any YouTube video for a long time. Even the actual alien videos. Mm-hmm. The first time we saw those commercials was around Super Bowl time last year?
It was Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're recycling those again, so
it
like, wouldn't surprise me.
What's about to happen?
It wouldn't surprise me, any of it.
Are we about to see a UFO come over the tree line?
Go and come in the house.
I had a dream about that, and it was real. No, not. I still remember that original set of dreams.
Okay.
They felt real, and usually those ones that feel real come true.
Sometimes those can be foretelling. That is true. Anyhow, our usual spiel. Email is cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. It's there in the description box.
Yeah. And if you like this video, comment, like, share, but most of all, subscribe. Check her out on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS.
Yeah, I have fun over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. Have some extra compassion, empathy, and kindness for other people. If you be aware of yourself, if you find yourself becoming overstimulated to where you just can't, back off from whatever it is.
That's why I had to delete X and a bunch of other social media apps from my phone.
Yeah, you don't need them.
No.
You don't have to go on any of this stuff. You can sit there with a cup of coffee and a book and just be.
Yeah.
There's so many wonderful things. That's the reason I love sharing the flowers, the pictures of the flowers over on X. And there's this one lady that makes jewelry that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, just these big, bold pieces that those things will be heirlooms. One of a kind originals. Just all kinds of stuff over there. And Mr. Jingles, I adore Mr. Jingles. I always have. There's just something about him. So
cool
lots of cool people over there, and just it's a matter of seek and you shall find.
Yeah.
Ask yourself what you're seeking. So, Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yeah.
Bye.